Since being diagnosed, I've begun to realize that I need to focus on the now. How do I feel right now? How can I make my day better and make my surroundings better for how I feel today and right now? So instead of focusing on what's next, I've been focusing on what's now.
Thrivership for me means living my life to my very best ability and finding joy in it every day. That's not to say that I have amazing days every day. This is not a Facebook commercial. This is a situation where I have the opportunity to make sure that I'm doing something fulfilling. So for me, that is very much about finding my tribe, loving them really hard, thinking about where I'm spending my time and making sure that that is time well spent towards small goals, big goals, doesn't matter.
Well, when I think about thrivership, I think about going beyond just surviving with cancer. I think about actually thriving into a more healthier and sustainable lifestyles.
To me, it's just overcoming, the obstacles that, we deal with in life. And once you overcome them, then, you feel good about what just happened and ready for the next one.
So I read something about PTG, which was post-traumatic growth. And it was talking about how after you've gone through cancer, you just notice things that you didn't really notice before, like, the beautiful sunrise or, just the trees outside being beautiful, that sort of thing.
Initially, I felt like a victim of my circumstances and questioned, why me? How could this happen? I don't want this to kill me and leave my new wife a widow. As a survivor, I began to learn more about NET cancer on my own and search out others who had been living with this disease for some time, and most importantly, experienced NET specialists who could provide me alternatives for treating the disease. Once I felt like I better understood my specific NET cancer and began receiving effective treatments with positive feedback from my labs, scans, and my body itself, I became a thriver. Although I wasn't cured, I had more positive attitude about my disease and was confident that I could help extend my life with the assistance of others whom I felt God had led me to.
I would tell them that if they're struggling with their doctor or struggling with their situation, just to keep trying. And there's always other doctors, other people to help you and support you and to not give up. So to keep persevering and really figure it out.
You have a future. There are amazing things happening in this field. Know that as you're making plans for yourself, you are going to actually be able to fulfill them.
You're not alone. Reach out, never be afraid to reach out. There are people that feel what you feel. There are people that are mentally and physically going through the things that you're going through. You're not alone in this journey in any type of way.
Trust in the medicine, to believe in what your doctors are telling you, and surround yourself around some positive people, and that helps.
There is a lot of overwhelming information out there. It's good that there is so much, but it can be overwhelming when you're newly diagnosed to try to cut it down and figure out what to go through. So if you can immediately have one of those patient mentors help you just drill down to what you need to know, like immediately when you're newly diagnosed, then I think that that's very helpful.
Remain optimistic as you progress through your NET journey. Expert care as well as new and improved treatments are becoming more available and accessible every day. You should expect to not only survive with your NET cancer, but thrive and possibly even be cured of it in the future.
The biggest challenge was not fully understanding my diagnosis at first, and that left a lot of questions and a lot of confusion for myself. And I wasn't confident talking to others and telling people what I had and what I was diagnosed with. But I've been able to overcome that by getting connected with the right people and working with my doctor to gain a good understanding where I do feel comfortable speaking with others about it.
So I think one of the main challenges was creating my right healthcare team. This is not something that there's a playbook for. It's a very personal journey. I had a particular interaction with a medical professional early on that really kind of set me back because it felt like there were more doors closing than there were windows opening. So, the good news that comes out of that story, which it was pretty hard at the time, is that it really kind of spurred me into action to think about what did I want and who did I want on that team.
Because you look okay on the outside, people around you automatically think that, oh, you're fine, you're okay, nothing's wrong. For me, being a voice for yourself, an advocate for yourself in any space is a way to address it.
The biggest challenge at the beginning was obviously accepting it. And the current challenge right now is pretty much anxiety, trying to overcome that because it changes from day to day, week to week, or month to month.
I was misdiagnosed for at least 15 years, probably a lot longer. I feel like when we talk about that, we talk about what that looks like for patients and how patients have to be their own advocates. But at the end of the day, I really feel like the message needs to be getting out to physicians.
My first challenge was finding an oncologist who had some experience with NET cancer and a state-of-the-art knowledge of how to treat it. The first 2 local oncologists I saw told me that I should begin receiving sandostatin shots and expect to die in 6 to 8 years. I felt this approach was way too passive and immediately began learning all I could about NET cancer and sought the help of NET specialists and was able to make some good decisions which have helped me keep alive.
Now I can focus on more of, okay, what makes me happy and what makes me feel good. So I've been working out and I've been trying new recipes and I've been hanging out with friends and family and just being around the people that I know love me and support me and doing those things that I love to do with them.
Being as healthy as I can. And I have no control over some portions of that. And I have a lot of control over other portions of that.
I mainly listen to my body and I try to eat well or eat better. I know a lot of research that I've done, there are certain things that will trigger my symptoms. One thing, I had a therapist that told me to push to the pain, not through the pain. So I learned to really, really listen to that and understand what that actually means.
I have some good support. I have my wife who takes care of everything. I'm glad that she's with me on this journey.
It's kind of a chance to take care of your body. It halts you and makes you say, oh, I have cancer, but I'm able to start over and really pay attention to taking care of myself.
I feel that my NET cancer team is giving me the best care possible, and that has given me the confidence to be able to live my life in a very positive manner. My wife, Laurie, and I have led the Utah NET Cancer Support Group. In this capacity, we have made lots of special friends and been able to share what we have learned with many others on this same journey.
I would tell myself that it gets easier because when I was first diagnosed, I didn't think it was the end of the world, but I just knew it was going to be a really big road bump for me. And I've always been one to get to the bottom of things and do my research. And when I was first diagnosed, I didn't have that research behind me. I didn't have that understanding. So I would just tell myself to dig into it, give myself some time to understand it and fully accept it emotionally as well, because that took some time.
One of the most amazing experiences I've had is I had met this woman. She's an amazing expert. She walked in the door of her office as I was sitting there, and she looked me in the eye and she said, I want you to know right now, you have done nothing to cause this. And it gave me such freedom in the sense that I let go of the guilt.
I honestly would tell myself that you're not imagining it. It is real.
It is going to be fine because research now is a lot better than it was 2 years ago, than it was 5 years ago, that it was 10 years ago. It's going to be okay.
So I think I would go back to myself and say, you know what, you need to be a little bit more confident. You know your own body, and if something doesn't feel right, just keep going to your oncologist until they find what it is, because having to wait so long to get to the bottom of something, it just causes you so many more problems in other areas of your body.
Do your best to remain positive and proactive in dealing with your disease. Worrying is like rocking in a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it doesn't get you anywhere. Assemble a NET experienced team of medical professionals that you trust to assist you, and follow their advice in monitoring and treating your disease.